Hey, welcome to Bluejay Banter postgame show. We are live here at Let It Fly in a packed house. Thanks for joining us. If you're joining us on YouTube, thank you very much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. And then hit that chat feature. You can put in your comments, ask your questions. We'll be checking in on that throughout the show. Right now, we're going to go directly into Coach's Corner, and Coach Lucas Vargas is here with us. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
First thing I got to point out, we clamped down on Desmond Claude in that second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
were we hedging the ball screens a little bit more?
Yeah, try to get some different looks at him so that he couldn't get comfortable. And Baylor, I thought, really matched his physicality. Did a great job. I mean, he had some tough shots in the first half, too. And he's a good player, and Baylor gave him a good battle.
Yeah. Now, if you don't know, Lucas is the video coordinator for the team. He gets a lot of the video together for scouting purposes and heading into the next game. So what did you see coming into this game about this Xavier team?
I mean, the first thing that stands out about Xavier is their pace, how fast they play. We kind of joke about it internally because we've said a lot of teams are the fastest team that will play all year, Iowa, Alabama, but Xavier probably actually is the fastest team that will play all year. They're the fastest team in the conference, and that was priority number one, slowing them down in transition and trying to run with them ourselves a little bit too. And then second was their very talented guards, Claude, Olivari, and McKnight. Really a good challenge for us defensively, and I mean, it was a battle to the end, and that's a really good team.
Yeah, that's interesting, those three teams you mentioned, because we played all three, and then Iowa, to me, seems they just get up shots fast.
Yep.
They're not incredibly as far as pushing the pace. Alabama is somewhere they like putting up the pace, but they will settle in the half court. And Xavier's somewhere in between. They push it fast and still shoot it fast. Is that a fair assessment, kind of?
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive to watch how fast they get the ball out from even on a made shot. And I mean, their first instinct is to get downhill and try and get in the paint. And like I said, our priority all week in the prep, and we get to practice a lot because of the triple overtime game the other night. So, I mean, we had to really do a lot of mental prep and take what we saw in video to the game floor today, and guys did a great job at carrying that over and really doing pretty well in transition, I thought.
Now, you do know if you went to every other Big East team and you were a coach there, they would say the same thing about Creighton for every game, hey, Creighton is the fastest team in the country.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, think back to last year. There's some pretty exciting high-paced games with Xavier, so really fun basketball.
Xavier's always been like that. Sean plays like that. I thought, getting back to you mentioned the practice Monday. I was at the practice Monday. I thought there was a lot of energy in that practice for guys that had just played 55 minutes.
Yeah, obviously a really emotional game on Saturday at Seton Hall, and I mean we just had to take an approach that probably you don't really want to take with a team like Xavier coming to town. And Sunday was very, very light, just mostly film, and I mean we had guys play 55 minutes and 50-plus minutes, so we obviously couldn't really do a lot on the practice floor. So really just, like I said, one day of prep to actually be on the court. But obviously a great win last week, and to carry that energy over into this week, I mean, that's a really tough stretch to play Wednesday, Saturday, and then on Tuesday with a triple overtime game in there. Yeah. So really proud of the way the guys kept playing our game, didn't let fatigue get to them. And, I mean, Baylor played, again, another 40 minutes. Trey played 39, and Kalk played 38. So,
jeez, crazy. Olivari, I think he did a fantastic job. And then I look at the stat sheet, and he still somehow got 15 points. I think he's averaging 17. But I thought a great job on him. And we talked about Claude. Was that kind of the focus, was him, Olivari? Yeah,
I mean, he's one of the leading scorers in the Big East, and really just a talented player. I mean, you saw his shot-making ability tonight on display, those floaters and some of those mid-range shots in the lane, while he can also, obviously, a very dynamic shooter. And Steven was really up to the task.
Yeah.
He guarded him most of the night, was right there in his hip pocket chasing him. And, I mean, he had some tough shots. You got to give him credit for that, tap him on the back. But ultimately, our defensive plan, I feel like, held strong. And over the course of the game, we did what we wanted to do.
I keep telling people that all the time, that, people were a little nervous about Steven, right? Different player than Nembhard, right? And I kept saying, look, once he gets settled in, trust me, I watched almost every one of his games last year. It wasn't like he was going against chumps. I mean, remember San Diego State, the team that beat us in the Elite Eight? He I think scored 25 points against those guys, and he was very good on the defensive end. He has really skyrocketed here over the last 3, 4, 5 games on the defensive end. What do you think he's done to improve himself there?
You know, I think a lot of people are going to want to think about like what he's doing from a basketball standpoint, but it probably starts way more than that. Just the guy is he brings such a positive attitude every day, and even when things probably weren't going his way necessarily, and maybe he wasn't having the games that he wanted to have, he still kept coming with the same positive attitude, same positive energy, and that gives you a foundation to start with. You can't improve if you're not willing to improve and willing to have the mindset that it takes to improve. And now he's playing with confidence. He's seen some shots go in. He's had some really successful defensive assignments. I mean, even Dawes the other night, he gave him a really hard game. And he just guarded, like I said, one of the leading scorers in the Big East, and he did a phenomenal job, I thought. He's as tough a competitor as there is, and maybe he's not the biggest guy out there, but now he's playing with confidence, and it's showing on both sides of the ball.
I think if my math is correct, adding tonight, he's 33 assists to 6 turnovers in the last 6 games. That's pretty damn impressive.
He's running the offense. That's what you want out of your point guard, right?
Yeah. I mean, considering the fact, he had some turnover issues and, he's still getting used to things. And so now he's really become great, and he's come great with the lob into Kalk, too, on the
yeah, he's starting to see a little bit better. He's starting to make those reads. And, I mean, obviously Kalk's putting pressure on the rim. And I think, Trey's hitting him a few times. Baylor will hit him as well. So now, I mean, that threat is starting to be there. And as a result, you're seeing some of the shots that we're able to get from threes are a little bit cleaner looks now.
Yeah. We're talking with Lucas Vargas, video coordinator for Creighton, after the Jays' big win tonight. I got to ask you about Davian McKnight. Wow, he was impressive tonight.
He put on a show. He sure did. And
he couldn't miss there for a while. He ended up going 8 of 14. It sure seemed like he made more shots than that.
4 of 5 from 3 too as well. Big night for him. And Xavier plays a little bit like us in the ball screen coverage. So those guards, they practiced against it, and they were pretty. You could tell they were prepared for what they were going to see with our drop ball screen coverage. And they had some tough mid-range shots, some tough floaters. And, like I said, we played the long game, and at the end of the day, they missed some shots at the end. We got some rebounds and were able to close it out.
And I think, if you want to look at, like you said, the long game, they only had 5 assists. And there was a lot of one-on-one action with them. We had 15 assists tonight.
Yep.
Let's see, maybe.
And Xavier,
28 made baskets, yeah.
You look at Xavier's season, and they're actually one of the best assist rate teams in the country, especially in the conference. So to make them play that kind of basketball, like I said, the long game, we're able to get the stops we need at the end and do what we want to do.
Boy, we were just talking off air before you came on. What a game by Trey's. 10 of 18, 5 of 5 to the line, 27 points. He carried us there, especially I thought in the mid and late first half when nobody else seemed to have it going. He was the one guy that was getting it done for us.
Yeah, he's starting to get in the paint, and he's really good at attacking that drop coverage as well. Yeah. Kind of what you saw on Xavier's end too. I was pretty impressed too. 9 rebounds from him. I mean, that's what we need out of our guards. They get it. They can start the break, and that helped us play fast and run with Xavier.
Another 9 rebound game for Kalk too. He's been averaging a lot of rebounds lately.
Yeah, but he's running the floor well, and it's a tough cover for opposing bigs in our conference to have to run with him all game.
Now Kalk looked to me, maybe it wasn't, but it looked a little tired, but it looked like Matt got into him a little bit. In the second half, we saw a little bit different Kalk.
He gets fired up. Yeah.
So, I'm not going to mention McHugh here, but we were having a discussion about the officials yesterday, and they didn't disappoint tonight. That technical, I think you could tell as the game wore on that Sean was like, man, I shouldn't have took that tee right there. That kind of changed the flow of the game. Gave us three points really, in when they had a little bit of a lead, and kind of got the crowd really going too. It's a tough call, and I asked Mac about the timeout thing on Monday. I said, what do you use to decide when to call a timeout when the team goes on a run? And tonight he called one early, and he said usually it's if we're not getting good shots, and in that stretch we weren't getting good shots. Is that kind of what you see from him too? Yeah,
I think he has a good feel for it, and you're right, he called it, and I think it was well timed. I think too, the pace of the game, the minutes that we play our guys, I think if we can use it opportunistically in a good strategic moment, it's a good chance for our guys to get a break as well when they need to build it in ourselves. And I thought that was really well timed. And yeah, I think we got some good runs, some opportunistic runs when we needed to have them. I mean, that second half when we were down, 6 or 7, and like you said, the momentum changed on a few free throws there, but. Second game in a row where we're down about that in the second half, and guys are in timeouts, and instead of hanging their heads, they're rallying each other, it's really impressive to see. I think you're starting to see the maturity of this team really show up.
Another big three, but he threw that one up. I went, oh God, no, and it's nothing but net, man. That was a big shot. I don't think he could see the rim because guys were flying at him, and man, what a big shot right there. We were talking about the schedule, like got through that road trip and how other teams, I think us and Marquette kind of had the bad go of it here in the first half. Now some teams like Seton Hall hasn't played any of the top 5 on the road yet. And it kind of looked to me like this game was one, you're coming off that triple overtime. If you can get by this one, then you got DePaul Saturday, then you got almost a whole week off. And with the minutes these guys are playing, to win this one tonight is just huge.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And, I mean, those double road trips are obviously really hard. You go out there, and I mean, we were gone from Tuesday to Saturday night. And, you think, okay, you're just staying out there, no school, and just kind of focusing on basketball. But really it's hard. You take someone out of their rhythm entirely. Like, you can't go to the gym to get extra shots for basically a whole week. You can't, your practice times are very, very scheduled and very, very limited. You're going to gyms that you're not used to, that you're not going to play in. And it's hard to stay focused out there for a whole week, and especially coming off the UConn loss, to be focused and ready to play at Seton Hall, I thought was impressive.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely,
like I said, to be able to handle the emotional highs and lows of that game, to be honest with you, and come back and, like we talked about earlier, not have that one day of practice really, and to carry that all onto the floor, really big win. Like I said, I think the maturity of the team is starting to show. You can't do that, I don't think, with a young team. But we have old guys on this team, guys that have been around, and guys that are mature enough to handle that kind of prep. And like you said, now we kind of get to not overlook anybody, but we have some built-in breaks coming up that
exactly.
we'll take advantage of. Yep.
Exactly. And, you go on those road trips, and guys like Baylor who just love being on the road. It's a little inside joke there. He's been very vocal with his disdain, with us anyway, disdain for road trips. He can't stand them, which is kind of, I think, unusual, because a lot of guys kind of like it in a way, like that. Like the one we had was long. Okay, I get that, but like those maybe a Thursday to Sunday kind of deal, like you get away a little bit. You're more focused on basketball, especially when, like, if school's not in session, you have a little road trip. It's kind of nice and so forth. But all right, so you mentioned DePaul. I would think, you do a lot of prep coming up, but I would think you're going to be especially focused on tomorrow night, because you don't know how the coaching changes, what kind of changes are going to happen. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they look like tomorrow against Marquette. I mean, obviously the change happened yesterday, and I don't know how much they could put in, and I don't know if they practiced yesterday, what kind of practice they had today. So I don't know how difficult that will be to, kind of reinvent what they do. But we'll definitely have to watch and pay close attention to it. It'll be tough only having one game of, after the change in leadership to really evaluate. But I don't know. We would think that there's probably going to have to be some carryover from what they used to do.
Sure.
So we'll prepare for it.
Maybe instead
like we do.
Of Stubblefield focusing on this set,
yep,
this guy might focus more on this set, run that 70% of the time.
Right.
He might switch defenses a little bit and things like that maybe you can catch tomorrow night.
No, there'll be some adjustments for sure, and we'll have
you're
to.
lucky you're playing a team, I would say, somewhat similar to you and Marquette.
Yep.
Yeah. Same kind of athlete, same kind of, all around the boat. And I think that probably is going to help a little too, right?
Yeah. And it'll be good that obviously we're not playing tomorrow, so we can watch the game live and come right into Thursday's meetings, Thursday's preps with full overview of it.
I think we may have talked to you about this before, but how far out do you go now? You've got DePaul Saturday, then another game till Friday. Are you already kind of looking ahead to Butler already, or? Yeah,
so Coach Murfeld and I kind of split up that aspect of it. So I had already been on DePaul, so that's most of that prep's done. Obviously, we got the game tomorrow that we'll pay attention to, and then Coach Murfeld, he had Xavier tonight, so he'll kind of turn the page to Butler. He's got some good prep on it, some good head start on it, but he
can go home and watch the game tonight.
Yeah,
which was kind of a surprise. I thought Georgetown's been coming, and I thought tonight was a perfect opportunity for them to get one, and they got bumped at home. So a nice effort by Butler. Butler has pieces. They just haven't been able to put it all together.
I mean, they really hit on 4 of their transfers. Pierre Brooks from Michigan State. I mean, he's been a really impressive player among the other guys, and yeah, that won't be an easy game for us to play. I mean, they're really big, really physical, and like I said, obviously we're not going to overlook DePaul, and we're excited for the great atmosphere the Pink Out game brings. But
yeah, that should be a great atmosphere on Saturday.
Coach Murph will get us ready for Butler.
Absolutely. Lucas, thanks for joining me. Your boss is over there. I see him. He's probably wants to talk to you about getting home and checking out DePaul.
Hey, we'll get back to it.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure having you here. His segment sponsored by CareMinders Home Health Care, our title sponsor, and they've just been tremendous for us all year. When you're in need of care for an injured, ill, or senior loved one, reach out to CareMinders Home Care. Their agency is comprised of certified caregivers who have many years of experience. You'll receive versatile, flexible, and customized care for your comfort, peace of mind, and well-being. So give them a call, 402-532-1383, or go to caremindersnebraska.com. And I'm going to also say, as a little bonus, a little preempt here, CareMinders and Equitable Bank are joining forces to help us with our post-season coverage. So thank you to them. You don't know how much that means to us and how much that helps us out when we go on the road to first stop, New York City. By the way, we got Josh is ready to become a father any minute here. So even though he was at the game tonight doing all the promos and so forth, we're not sure he's going to make it. I don't think he probably is. So I'm going to be handling duties here tonight. And as you may have seen in a little bit, we're going to have Ryan Kalkbrenner. A fabulous night for Ryan. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block for Ryan. So a tremendous effort for him tonight. And we're going to talk to him about maybe getting some one-on-one touches where no doubles came at him. A little bit, not too much, though, tonight. And a tremendous effort by Ryan and the rest of the guys tonight as they come away with the win. But let's just kind of run down the box score tonight for your Creighton Blue Jays. And first of all, we'll just start off. Mason Miller had 7 points tonight, was 2 of 6 from 3. Played 25 minutes. Ryan Kalkbrenner played 38 minutes, as Lucas said. 16 points, 9 rebounds. Stephen Ashworth, again, just a solid game. He got pulled out a little bit because he had some foul trouble. But Stephen with another solid game, 12 points. He was 1 of 3 from deep, 7-8 from the free throw line. That's what he does, hit those big technicals. For a 6'1 guard, he had 4 rebounds. Unbelievable. 7 assists, 1 turnover again. And they didn't credit him with a steal, which is a little bit odd because I thought he should have been credited with a steal. Trey Alexander, what a night. 27 points on 10 of 18 shooting. 39 minutes he played. 5 of 5 from the line, 2 of 6 from deep. And 9 rebounds. 27-9. That's a pretty darn good line. Baylor Shireman played all 40 minutes tonight. Wow, he's got to be one tired dude after 55 on Saturday. 5 and 9 from deep, though, for Baylor. He hit a couple of huge ones there as we pulled kind of away there at late against Xavier. He ended up with 20 points tonight, 3-6 from the line, which is uncharacteristic for him, and 4 rebounds, and not nearly the rebound total he had normal, but he did have 2 steals. Fran got some run, didn't score. Frederick only played a minute and a half, and Isaac Trout got some time tonight, which was great to see. I thought Isaac did really well tonight. Again, really steady out there. He had one kind of missed box out, but other than that, Isaac played real solid. Hit a big 3 for us as well, and like I said, he played 11 minutes. So the Jays shoot for the game. They shoot 49%, 39 from 3. That's one of their better 3 nights that they've had. And it's been a while since they've shot 3s like that. 85-78. If you didn't see the score, sorry. If you had the point spread, they kind of got screwed up at the end there. We missed a free throw. They came down and scored. We mentioned some of the studs for Xavier. Desmond Claude, 18 points in the first half, only 2 in the second half. Really shut him down. He was 7 of 23, so that's probably not going to get it done most nights. Olivares, 5 of 12 from 3. So they were 12 of 35 from 3. I think when you're playing Xavier, you will take those stats from those 2 guys. And those 2 guys combined were 1 of 9 from 3. So that's where Creighton got it done on the defensive end. We mentioned Davion McKnight, what a terrific night. 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3. He had 20 points, and he was hitting that high jumper over Kalk consistently, and it seemed like he was just never going to miss it. I think tonight, obviously, you could see we had a huge, and when we get Kalk in here, we'll ask him about it. We had a huge advantage inside. Their three bigs were really no match for us down low, and they got in foul trouble very early. And when we could get the ball into Kalk when they weren't like fronting him and so forth, we really made our hay down low. Xavier shot 40% for the game, 33% from 3. They did shoot 93% from the free throw line tonight. Very impressive for the Musketeers. And we got to go. We got to go to Cintas Center, so that's not going to be an easy out as we saw tonight. It's going to be a tough matchup. We did get only 9 turnovers. We held it there. We had 9. I don't think we had a turnover in the second half. Xavier had 5. They did kill us on the points off turnovers, 19-5, which if you've listened to me over the years, that's, in my opinion, the most overrated stat in basketball. Second chance points, 17-6. We did give up. Let's see what we gave up for offensive rebounds tonight, 14, which again is kind of our Achilles heel. Although tonight I thought a lot of them were just unlucky rebounds, rebounds that bounced out further, just out of our reach and so forth. But we've got to do a better job just garnering those missed shots when we do a great job on the defensive end. We did lose a rebounding battle, 41-36, but when you shoot 10 points higher than they are, you're probably going to give up a few rebounds. We had 47 points in the second half to pull away 85-78. So those are your stats, and that was sponsored by Equitable Bank. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. They are the bank of Bluejay Banter. We want to thank them and Doug Nodgard. We wish Doug had some surgery today, so wish him the best. They have been around since 1882. They make banking easy. No minimum balance, free online bill pay, electronic statements, and auto transfers anywhere on your Equitable Bank accounts. So check them out today. 2 great locations. Pierce location in Elkhorn, a new upscale look that is just tremendous. So check that one out. And then also a location just north of the Schwab headquarters. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. And they do answer the phone on the first ring, and their customer service is off the charts. And we thank them so much. We're getting ready here for Ryan Kalkbrenner any minute, I believe. So player profile tonight is going to be sponsored by none other than Godfather's Pizza. Pizza pie piled high. Order Godfather's at your nearest location or check them out online, godfathers.com. They have feasts to feed your whole family, whether it's pizza, wings, cheese sticks, desserts, and more. Godfather's has everything for you. Piled high pizzas with fresh mozzarella, abundantly topped with quality toppings. As I said, check them out online, godfathers.com. Tons of sports, basketball, and football coming up, and a great time to order some Godfather's Pizza. We thank them to sponsor as well, and it's time to segue into our player profile tonight. Kalk, what's up? First question. I think it was the first question we asked you yesterday. How tired are you, man?
A little tired. There's a lot of recovery stuff going on.
Yeah, no kidding. There was different time. It seemed like you guys took turns, like just breathing on fumes out there, man. Because it was like that. Baylor was sometimes Trey. It had to be especially a grinding game like this when you turn around and play a team that's as fast-paced as Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, the third game in a row without a day off, and after a 3 overtime game, and like you said, Xavier's really fast. There was no like after a made shot, you're not jogging back. After a made shot, you're sprinting back to stop the ball because they're coming.
Did you think when you got that minute break tonight, you were like, "Jeez, I'm totally refreshed now and get back out there"?
I knew that was it when that was going to be my one break, and I'd be ready to go the rest of the game.
Okay, is Jaw doing better today even?
It's doing better today. It's back to normal now. I was a little worried after the game it wouldn't close, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I thought there was a possibility you could have broke your jaw. like I don't think people saw it on the first hit, but then you got hit again.
Yeah.
And like when people break their jaws, you hear about that. Like, well, I took a shot. Like football players, I took a shot in the second quarter, and then the third quarter I took another shot, and that's when But
I was at that point in the game, I was like, I'm just gonna have to play through it regardless. So we'll figure it out.
I was talking to
the
Lou,
game.
and he said I just told him we'll worry about it after the game.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're really sympathetic there, Lou.
Yeah. Well, I actually chipped my tooth on the same play, and I gave Lou the part of my tooth in a timeout, so he would know.
Lou put it under his pillow. He got money, right? Well, again, teammates did a nice job of finding it tonight down low.
Yeah, and then Xavier came and doubled me a little bit, and those guys,
Boom.
Baylor and Trey.
Trey one time really,
Big three.
lit it up. Yeah. Steven, he's just really coming into his own with this team, especially finding you on those screens. And then, we talked about guys tired. Man, he's pushing that ball up the floor every play.
Yeah, I mean, it can be hard coming from a different place, coming into a new environment, and you can just tell with each game, each practice, he's just getting more and more comfortable. He pushes the ball faster, shooting it with more confidence. It's coming together. It's going to be really good by the end of the year.
Yeah. What was the biggest challenge tonight? The rebound's pretty close, but I felt like their offensive, they got 14-8, I think it was. Like, I felt a lot of them were just balls that hit the back of the rim and bounced out. Like, sometimes you can't do anything about those.
Yeah, sometimes it goes that way. Sometimes you just got to be a little stronger. Got Usman, the starting big.
Yeah.
I think he averages like four or five offensive rebounds a game. So he's coming hard, and we probably could have done a little bit better job at getting the ones that we should have gotten. But there's always going to be those ones that kind of bounce out, and you can't really do anything.
Yeah,
about
we had
it.
a couple. We had it, and it kind of just went off.
Yeah.
Two guys tipped to their fingers and so forth. I want to ask you a question, because you've been around the league a little bit. It just seems like they're letting a lot more go this year. Do you feel that way?
I think so a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you get so locked in on 1 year, sometimes it's hard to compare it to a year before, and it feels different, and it's not actually that was. But, it's kind of I don't really care how they call it as long as they call it fair both ways. I think they've been doing a pretty good job of that this year. So obviously, I'm never going to complain about the rest. But in all honesty, though, I don't got nothing to complain about.
Sometimes, I feel for guys, not so much. I think they're calling your game down low pretty close, except when you get hammered with both arms and they don't call it. But they're calling it close down low. The guys I feel for are guys like Trey, they're not calling that shove on the drive anymore. They're just letting it go, and it's taken Trey a while to adjust to that.
Yeah, that's definitely he's gotten that call in the past, and you can argue whether or not he should get it this year. But if they're not calling it, he's got to learn to adjust.
Works on both ends. Like you said, you can play physical with them a little bit too.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job of figuring it out and getting into a rhythm, even if he's not getting that particular shot.
And for you especially, you come up with that high ball screen, and I thought at a time there was just man, you just have to be so still or they're going to call moving screen. Yeah. And they haven't called that. And then all of a sudden tonight they called it three times in 3 plays. I was like, what?
They called it back-to-back. The Xavier big got one, and the very next play I got one.
Yeah. I thought yours just looked normal to me. I don't know. But, boy, we were talking about the schedule. You guys have kind of, and you and Marquette both have kind of had the tough end of the schedule, playing a lot of tough road games against the top teams and so forth. And now the schedule for both teams has kind of flipped a little bit, especially for us now. We're playing more of the middle-tier teams, playing 3 in a row at home. Yeah. And not only that, more importantly, you're getting a nice break here. Now you're going to have 4 days off. You're going to play DePaul, and then 5 or 6 days off. So that's got to be a big help.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, especially playing at home, it can get you in a good rhythm, get some wins, make you feel good. Obviously, you got to take care of business. I mean, every team in this league is a really good team, even if they're middling in the standings. So you still got to be locked in and prepared, but it's definitely nice. It gives you a really good opportunity being at home and feeling like you can get some wins.
We were talking with Lucas here, and, of course, he does all the wonderful film work for you guys. But
Lucas. I love that guy.
He's great, isn't he? And I said, man, I bet you're going to be locked in tomorrow night because with the new coach at DePaul.
Yeah.
You know, what are they going to change and what are they aren't? And I'm sure you guys will get some of that prep. Luckily, you're off tomorrow, and then they'll come back and go, oh, everything we thought of DePaul, this changed that.
Yeah.
But like he said, it's such a short time span. He goes, it would be nice to see a couple of games under their belt with the new coach to see if anything changes. But that'll be one little new wrinkle to that game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think they said they play UConn tomorrow night. I think I don't know who they play. Marquette. They play one game before they get to us.
Marquette.
To get a little sneak peek, but you never know. Like, will they throw in a new press, a new defense, whatnot, to try to mix things up and get things rolling? So it'll be really interesting to see what the new coach tries to do with them.
Yeah. I'm going to get to a question here from Brandon in the chat.
Okay.
About you.
Oh yeah.
Oddly enough. Said Kalk has a great touch for a big guy. Why do you think you're struggling a little bit at the free throw line?
It's definitely mental. It's not the shot. The shot feels
your shot
good.
looks good.
The first two I shot tonight, I was like, those are going in, and then they bounced out. I was like, what the heck's going on? So it's definitely mental. Freshman year, it was way more mental too. I shot 49% from the line my freshman year. It was mental, and I flipped it, obviously, the last 2 years. So I just got to kind of hit the reset button and, you know, take the rest of this year to shoot it like I did the last 2 years.
Yeah, and just to show like people, like, it's not always. I heard it. Maybe you did. Maybe I heard it wrong. But didn't Steven yell short on that last one he shot?
He did,
and then he went, and it went right through the net. And he was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I was like, if it was anything, I thought it was right down the middle. But if it was anything, it was a little long down the middle. I don't know what you felt.
Yeah, and you know you're a good free throw shooter when you say short and you swish them.
I wish my short ones were short like that.
Question about Fred too. You go up against him in practice.
Yeah.
You know, is Fred maybe just in kind of a period where he's not getting as many minutes, maybe losing a little bit of confidence as a younger player?
Yeah.
Is that, you know, because you've been around and it's probably happened to you too?
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting a ton of minutes right now, and it's really hard to find like a rhythm, a groove, and build confidence when you're not getting a big opportunity.
Yeah.
And especially as a younger player, it's hard to kind of take the step back and take the practice reps as a chance to build that confidence and build that rhythm. Because when you're a younger player, I was guilty of this my freshman year too. You kind of over-focus on the games, and when those aren't going quite your way, then it starts to build and snowball. But he's a really talented player. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's listening. He's trying to do all the right things. So he's going to be fine. He's just,
and we need him, and we're going to need him down the stretch at some point.
Yeah, at some point this year in some game, he's going to play some huge minutes for us and make some big time plays that win us the game. So he's going to be just fine. It's just all young players go through something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you guys going to get any time off in those 6 days after DePaul, or?
I don't know what Max got planned.
Maybe a couple days, maybe,
I think
instead of 1 day.
I think definitely the first day, the day right after the game. I don't know what Max got planned for us after that, but we'll see. I mean, Max really good at kind of taking in all the data. Jeremy, our trainer, has got us wearing these chips that track all of that.
It's amazing technology.
Yeah. So all you got to do is look at the chips and be like, maybe today needs to be a lighter day. And Mac's really good at trusting that and listening to chips and Jeremy and planning accordingly.
I think Mac made a comment one time. We look at him and go, Mason needs to eat more.
You don't even got to look at the chips to know that. We've been trying.
You were mentioning about guys losing. It was great to see Isaac get like 11 minutes tonight too, because he was a guy that was really coming on, really improving, and then his minutes shrunk a little bit because of some matchups we faced. And then, obviously when you're not playing as much, and so it's great to get him a floor because he's another guy we're going to need down the stretch,
Yeah, he's kind of in the same boat as Fred. Like, he's not getting a ton of minutes now, but at some point in the year, he's going to play 20 minutes, hit 4 or 5 threes, and win us a game. So he's doing a really good job of staying ready when his number's called. He hit a shot tonight. He's going to keep doing that for us, so he'll be really good.
I'm going to let you go because you need to get some rest. But last thing I want to talk to you about is the pink out game. You've experienced it a few times. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's so awesome. It's such an amazing atmosphere, such a great cause, and then the Creighton fans do such a good job of raising money for all that, the selling the jerseys, the signed basketballs, all of that. It's so awesome.
Have you seen the unis yet?
I haven't. No. As a matter, I don't even know what shoes we're getting this year for the pink shoes. I'm usually the last one to figure that stuff out.
Can I ask you something else?
Yeah.
I'll tell you off. Ashworth is bragging about his card tricks.
Oh.
Are they really that good, or?
He usually does them on the plane, and I'm not next to him on the plane, so I've missed them all so far.
He said he befuddles Fred all the time with them.
I was just sitting in my spot on the plane, and all of a sudden I heard like 3 or 4 guys in the back next to Steven go like, "Oh my gosh!" Like he really got him. Whatever he did, I didn't see what it was, but whatever he did, he got him good, just based on their reaction.
Kalk, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks.
I know it's been a long run here. And his appearance here is sponsored by Godfather's Pizza, Pizza Pie Piled High. Make sure to check them out, godfathers.com. They've got everything for your family. I like the taco pie. I like the Godfather's combo. So check them out. They got wings, cheese sticks, dessert, and more. That's Godfather's Pizza. Something for everyone. It's pizza you can't refuse. Okay, I'm going to get some chats here. First of all, Martin, a regular listener, gutsy, absolutely gutsy win. Hopefully you get significant minutes for the bench Saturday. I think, yeah, we're kind of talking with chat, Kalk about that. You know, it'd be nice to get Fred some minutes. It'd be nice to get Isaac some more minutes. It'd be nice to get Josiah out there some. So I think that in Jason. So, yeah, I hopefully that will happen. Doug Nogard, president of Equitable Bank, as we said, recovering from his surgery today. He's home. He's watching the post game. He couldn't go to the game tonight, so he's watching our show. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the sponsorship of Equitable Bank. Just said we need to get more quality minutes from Fred. I would say give him 10. Baylor can get some rest. Baylor may be our best transfer ever. That's a great topic that we should have on Bluejay Banter sometime. Officials were better tonight, Doug thought, and this a lot coming from Doug. Trust me, a guy who's all over the officials. I think he and I had a 20-minute conversation about him the other day. At least they called the obvious shoves. Yeah, again, I just think it's just really hard. You know, I would like to talk to somebody in officiating in the Big East, like if they're going to let everything go, then at what point do you start calling things? And I think that's where the officials have really struggled. Some games have gotten out of hand. Some games have gotten too physical. And, you know, tonight then the coaches get upset and there's technicals thrown around. And, yeah, they have to come to a happy medium at some point. He also feels like Mason's really close to breaking out offensively, and he sure is. Doug asks, what seed do you have the Jays at? I have them currently at number 5. Thanks, by the way, to Tom Chattel for the shout-out in the Omaha World Herald today. They have them at number 5. They're one of the, I think they're 19th on my list, so it'd be the next to last 5 seed. They were lucky enough because I had all the way this bracket turned out. I had the other 3 teams on that 5 line were all Mountain West teams. So on the 4 line, obviously, because we only have Arizona as the only West team that's a top 4 seed this year, the last teams that get sent anywhere are 2 to Spokane and 1 to Salt Lake. So all those teams on the 4 line got sent there. Well, that was great for the Mountain West teams because it's in their area. So they all got scattered about in those. And there was one spot, I think it was Illinois at Pittsburgh. So Creighton got sent to Pittsburgh, you know, because people ask, where do you think we'll go? Too early to really tell about that. But certainly, you know, I could see us, if you're going to be in that 4 line or 5 line, you've got a 75% chance of going to Salt Lake or Spokane. So if you maybe want to make some early reservations, ones that you can cancel. Spokane's kind of tough to get to. Salt Lake's not tough to get to. We can fly into there very easily. But that's kind of where I have them right now. They just got to keep winning right now, especially in this stretch where they don't play any of the top teams. We're going to go DePaul and then Butler. So those aren't particular games that are going to help your net ranking. So you just got to win those handily, and that will help your net a little bit. Zach, our buddy Zach, he must have made it out to Portland. Val. He must have made it out there. He's already joining the chat. Ashworth continues to contribute and make big plays down the stretch. He's shown a lot of toughness these last few games. It's been a major catalyst on both ends. Couldn't agree more. He's just growing. I've always liked him, but he's really jumped leaps and bounds, especially on the defensive end. We don't need him to score 30 points per game. If he continues to scrap, hit open shots, make free throws, and tonight, that's just such a key to this game. A, at the end of games, and B, when at any time the other team gets a technical, you can throw him on the line. It's almost an automatic 2 points. Some more chats just coming in. Brandon says, agree with Mason, close to breaking out. Do you have any inside info that his game translates outside three-pointing and rebounding? Love his effort on the boards. Yeah, he's just got to get bigger, like Kalk and I were kind of joking about. He's got to put on some more weight so he doesn't get moved out of the spot so easily. He's got to do some lower body work, I think is probably his biggest area where he needs to improve on, and then he's able to get position and get rebounds with his legs and get into spots. Zach out in Portland says, speak for yourself. I'm hoping and praying for Spokane. Yeah, you would. Doug says, Butler is much improved. They are. They've got Posh Alexander, who used to play at St. John's. They got a couple of nice pieces, but it hasn't translated to wins. They're still toward the bottom of the league. I just think it's a game that we need to take care of business. And after a 6-day layoff, I think our legs will be fresh. I think we'll be in good shape there. But our chats, want to thank everybody, and we thank them. And it's obviously one of the sponsors of our show is Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. They've been around forever, and Equitable Bank has evolved with the technology and the changing times of banking. And like I mentioned earlier, their new location out in Elkhorn on Pierce Street is it's a modern cafe type look. Gives you a great feel when you walk in there, and obviously their customer service is always great. So give them a call today. Go online to Equitable Bank and make them your bank. And they take banking personally, and they always answer the phone on the first ring, and thank them for their sponsorship. We're going to move on to some unsung heroes tonight. Unsung hero tonight. Josh came up with the fact that we could pull parts of someone's game out, and tonight I'm going to again pull Stephen Ashworth's defense. I thought his defense was outstanding. He was on Oliveri for a while tonight. I just thought he bowed up to the challenge, and he's bowing up to the challenge game in and game out of really becoming a really good defensive player. And I thought he's just going to keep improving. Like, I know tonight there was a couple times he got into the lane and the defender left him and he could have shot. He's going to get used to that as the time goes on. So I'm gonna name Steven the unsung hero of the game. That's sponsored by Care Minders. All of our segments sponsored by them, of our Worst Call and Unsung Hero sponsored by Care Minders Home Health Care. Home care for the injured, ill, or senior loved one is something you probably don't think about. And I was talking with Jim about that the other day, that, when the need arises, then you're in a scramble to try and find someone to care for them. Jim's suggestion is, hey, check us out now, see what we offer now, and then when the time comes, you'll be ready for it. So check out CareMinders today, 402-532-1383, or go to caremindersnebraska.com, their website. You'll be glad you did. You can check everything out and then give them a call if you have any questions, and I think you'll be glad you did. Worst call of the game. Oh, my word. That's a tough one tonight. There was a lot we could have went to. James Breeding got thrown in the fire tonight. Usually he's a guy that kind of, the crews I've seen him on, he kind of sits on the outside, doesn't blow a lot of whistles, and kind of stays out of the fray. Tonight, Mack was all over him, and then obviously Sean Miller was all over him. He teed up Miller and then almost teed him up a second time. One doesn't particularly stand out to me. There were several in the game I thought were bad calls, but again, I thought we probably got the better of the whistle tonight, frankly, which, hey, it's about time, right? But I thought we did. Opponent preview. DePaul, there's not a whole lot to say. Obviously, everyone knows they had the coaching change. Coach Stubblefield got fired. Strange that they would make a move at this particular time. I don't know if they're thinking about recruiting at this time or what the thought process was, but they made the move when they did, and they know this season's pretty much shot anyway, so why keep Coach Stubblefield around? Let's bring somebody, let's put an interim coach in here, and then look, they're going to do a national search, they say. It's a tough spot right now. It's a tough spot to win, and it's a tough spot with the power that's in the Big East. It's tough to go, I guess I compare it to Nebraska and the Big Ten, although Nebraska's having a really good year this year, but it's tough in that league to move up, and it's only going to get tougher, say, in a conference like the Big Ten when you add perennial basketball powers like UCLA, USC, and Oregon into that league. So it'll be interesting to see if they do anything different, if the players play a little harder. I guess you can tune in tomorrow night. They play Marquette and kind of see that. But I think that's the first thing we look at. Back to the chat. Zach jumped in. He goes, I'm of the opinion that Mason could score 8 points a day on backdoor cuts alone if he builds his confidence and starts looking for the overplay in the perimeter. I agree. The thing about Mason, then, he'd have to finish at the rim, and he just hasn't shown that ability, even though he has tremendous athleticism. He's really a leaper. And I think a lot of people would like to see him do that. And, let's see what happens. I want to get a shout out here to Bluejay Banter. Bluejay Banter is the #1 site for diehard Creighton fans. It's part of the Rivals Network. It's widely recognized as the gold standard for recruiting information. Bluejay Banter will keep you informed of everything recruiting in Creighton, and there's recruiting information on there right now. #2, we got the greatest message board around. It's always great after games. It's great when there's losses for you to go on their event and get other members' opinions. It's great when we're winning. So check it out. Go to bluejaybanter.com today. Sign up. When you just check out, you're going to see a Creighton message board. That's just the free message board that's not used by very many people. What you do need to sign up, and then you have access to the private message board. And on there, you're going to get all kinds of information, including practice reports and daily information on the team. So check it out. It's bluejaybanter.com. Hey, thanks for joining us again. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, if I could speak. Subscribe and like button. It helps us out so much. Make sure you do that. And then check out any of our other past shows. We had a particularly great one after Seton Hall game, so check that one out as well. And we'll be right back here. Remember, folks, it's a pink out, 6 o'clock. Just one of the special nights of the year. So come early. I know this place is going to be packed. I don't even know if they have any reservations left, but check it out. Go check out Let It Fly and see if you can get in here. And if not, you can get a spot along the bar or upstairs here by the podcast studio. It's a great place to come before the game. And then it's 6 p.m. tip, so it's just going to be a great Saturday. You can come back here to Let It Fly after the game. So thanks for watching. We'll see you Saturday.